We are live. Most High SHALAM, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We've been on these streets since 1969 trying to tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians they are the true Jews of the Bible. They are the Southern Kingdom that the Bible is talking about. They are the Jews, the people of Jesus Christ. Sis, you had a question?
How did you said why they keep us poor? Why they keep us poor?
Okay, that's what the sisters asked them basically before class officially started. I was basically explaining that our enemies basically keep us poor and destitute. There's a scripture in Amos, I believe it's 8:9. Let me pull up real quick. Hold on, I'm using my phone. Okay, hold up one sec, sis. So it's 8:9. Oof. Salagi, if anyone gets it first.
What was that?
Amos chapter 8, verse 9. Answer this sister's question real quick, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, 8:5. Con, read verse 5 if you could, sis. Try to speak loud if you could. Baratazar, when you get it. Amos 8:5. Con, now basically what you have to understand is why do you have who has a job here? Why?
Scripture says that if a man doesn't that scripture that says if a man doesn't I'm paraphrasing, but basically to keep a roof over my head,
It's a good thing you didn't paraphrase anything because I believe you were about to say it. You're about to use that scripture that's Salaki, Amos 8:5. Were you about to use the scripture that says, "Man, don't eat, don't work, you don't eat." That is talking about the truth, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, meaning, yeah, John. That's talking about the truth. That's the work you do, and that's why you eat. You understand? Meaning, what's it called? I ain't got no problem giving you her. Dinner's on me. You know why? Because you're a great brother. You understand? Like you don't have any problems. That's talking about. But tell me another. But what is the answer you actually said? Because that was more on the money.
I said to keep a roof over my head, clothes on my back.
Okay, perhaps what you got to say?
What was the question?
Why do you have a job? Like, why do you? Yeah, John. Why do you get up every day, or 5-6 days a week, put on clothes, and do another man's work? And come.
So I can feed my family.
So you can feed your family. Okay, now sweat. Read this verse 8:5.
8:5.
Salaki, what's your question, sis? Huh? Yeah, read it. Project, sis, project. Speak loud. Amos 8:5, yes.
Okay, saying when we, saying when will. Saying will the new moon be gone?
Right. That we
may sell corn.
Keep going.
In the Sabbath, that we may set forth meat, making the
ephah. Ephah is like a measurement for like flour.
Okay. Ephah, small, and the
shekel
great.
Meaning, what is this talking about? These are business owners, right? People in power in business. Meaning, when are the holidays over, right? When are the days that we can't sell things over, right? that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great. Meaning what? You're going to get a smaller loaf of bread for, instead of the regular loaf for, what is it, 2? You're going to get a smaller loaf for 4. That's what it's saying. Yeah, it's evil, but that's what our people were doing. And here's the evil part about it and why the Levites, and we're going to get into this, the topic of this day is leadership. Here's why the Most High had a problem with the Levites. I was doing this for you in the grocery store, and then no Levite was punishing me. Levites knew full well I was getting people. But guess what? Their bread is right. You understand? They're getting their chicken. It's not getting skimped. Because why? They're the government. They handle the tithes. They handle all the taxes. Like, say that's a minor infraction. I just got to pay $500. I'll put $300 in your pocket. You understand? That was the problem. Keep reading, sis. And falsifying.
And falsifying the balances by
deceit. Meaning what? What's it called? I'm messing with the balance and putting weight on it or some piece of metal, right? To make it look like this amount of gold is worth this amount of silver when it really isn't. I'm getting you. Right? Now read verse 6, sis.
That we may buy the poor for silver.
For what?
For silver.
Now, what does that mean, to buy the poor for silver? How do you buy the poor for silver? Come on.
You sell them.
Huh?
Buy the poor for silver.
I'll let the brother get a chance. Think about the question I asked you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. For time's sake, I'm gonna give you a chance.
See how much it's worth?
No. Come.
I was saying that how can I put this on? I could buy the poor for silver. It means that the poor is on sale.
How?
By they have to be on by others who's selling.
No.
Can I by them not getting punished?
No.
So is this more captivity?
No. These are our people. These are our own people. Buying the poor for silver. Come, what?
How much is worth?
No. Give me the next one. Maybe that'll help you. That we may buy the poor for silver. Yeah, come. We'll start from the top. That
we may buy the poor for silver.
Right.
And the needy for a pair of shoes.
Yea.
Yea, and sell the
refuse.
On the wheat.
Meaning the part nobody wants. Now, and the needy for a pair of shoes. Does that help you a bit? For time's sake, I'm about to give it to you.
Salaki, sir.
Can
I get one more shot?
Come.
Basically, is this saying that even though we know that we're poor, like we're helping the next poor man?
No. Meaning, this is a man who is all about his money, and he's talking about buying the needy, right? Here's how. Okay, what are the answers you gave me to the question? Why do you work?
To have a roof over my head, clothes on my back.
And you said?
That's to feed my family.
Does your landlord take jelly beans? As payment? Does he take dirt? Will he take silver?
Come.
So what does that put you in the position of? You need silver, right?
Come.
I got some right here. Move these boxes for the next 8 hours. It's all yours.
Come.
I just bought you. That's why they keep us poor. Here's the thing you have to understand. Gentleman Hyman put this out. Like, y'all have to realize, we don't get certain laws passed here in America because black people live here. Meaning, do you know in places like Sweden, I believe, like, they're really paying you 100 G's to get married and start a family. They're not going to do that for us. Give me 100 G's. I'm going to invest that. You will never see me on anyone's job site. You see the problem there? Who's going to drive your buses? Who's going to take out your garbage? I buy the poor. Your children need shoes, brother. Yeah, what's called? And the needy for a pair of shoes. Yeah, you need shoes. I'm going to make sure you get them, but I'm going to make sure it's hard for you. I'm going to make sure it's at your expense and not mine. God.
It's like you said.
Right.
You said over in Sweden they pay people to have kids.
Right.
Back in the 70s, a lady told me, somebody told me on 25th Street.
Right.
You know, she said, listen, back in the 70s, women used to stay home and have kids, and they used to give them checks.
Yeah, that was evil. Those women should have never taken those checks. Okay? That's why you have the black community you have today. Those checks were Section 8. Anybody here ever saw, what is it, Clarissa?
Yeah.
You know what movie I'm talking about, right?
Claudine.
Claudine. Yeah, Claudine. Yeah, that's how you get Claudine. You want to check Claudine. Hide any semblance of not being completely destitute and poor, right? Yo, did they have to hide the iron? Like, God.
Lucky she had to hide her man in the closet.
No. The man I can understand from a what's called perspective. I see you. But here's the problem. Right. You had to hide your iron.
Right.
My question is, what do you want my children going to school looking like? Right. And what do you want me going to a professional setting looking like?
Right.
Come on, brothers.
I was going to say that because since she didn't only hide the man, she was hiding her valuables.
That he bought her. Right. Okay. And this is what happens. Why? Because you have bad leadership.
Right. Now,
okay, we're going to try to hop around. Come on. This is the last one, says. What is it?
Now they you know, this had backfired on the generation.
So what?
You know what they did, having these women to stay at home and having kids, it had backfired on the generation.
It didn't. Well, define backfire. That's what the white man wanted.
What?
Yeah.
For his outcome?
Yes, for his goals. The destruction of our race. So, Salakia, you got what you, let me get Genesis 49 and start at verse 8. Come on, Bible can try quickly. We're going to get through this. And we're going to get on this.
Come on, Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Meaning what? What is this all talking about? This is Judah's prophecy, meaning how he'll be in the last days. Now we're bringing this out. Now, what's important about the house of Judah? Khan, Parataza.
It was the head tribe.
Yes, but why? Very simple. There's a few. Well, yeah, Khan. Main reason why.
I think it was Reuben ended up doing something.
Okay, yes, that's how it all ended up in the way the Most High wanted, but why? Okay, you realize you were always going to be a Judite, right?
Come.
So what was Christ always going to be?
Judah.
So why was Judah the head tribe? Because Christ is a. That's it. That understand that because I'm basically in a room of Judites. That's what makes Judah special. Christ is one of us. Christ is specifically one of us. Put that in your Salaki. Since we're here and talking about the Salaki, because we got to get through this. If you're in the Yonkers area and you are of what they refer to as African American descent, like what you call from the States, your ancestors served out their slavery, not in like Jamaica, Trinidad, or whatever. Your ancestors served their slavery in Louisiana or somewhere to that effect. You are more than likely of the tribe of Judah. Some of y'all might be Gad. That's what about the joke. Right. But yeah, more than likely you are a Judite. Jesus Christ is a Judite. Understand and put it in your chest. Jesus Christ is your cousin. Jesus Christ is a literal member of. If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, understand Jesus Christ is your cousin. But if you are an African American or a Negro, an American Negro, understand Jesus Christ is an American Negro. Right. Jesus Christ would be what you today would call an African American. Jesus Christ is George Floyd's brother. Right. Another thing you should put in your chest is that there's some of y'all walking around not realizing you are more closely related to Jesus Christ than you can realize. Like you realize, like I say this a lot of times about other brothers, like my Levites and all that. Like y'all realize like some of y'all are really the descendants of frickin' Moses. Right, right. Like some of y'all wake up in horrible goddamn lives, not realizing your ancestor is like basically started 3 goddamn religions. Oh. Like people, you know how much people love Moses? Mm. And by people, I mean heathens. Actually, go ask an Arab how they feel about Musa. Mm. But they don't give a damn about the Haitian people. Right. Those are Moses' children. Wow. And Jesus Christ. Some of our people are like, you have to understand that your family symbol is being used by a bunch of people who blow rod. Like there are African Americans that are literally the children of King David. Right. There are African Americans that are literally the children of King James. Right. And the whole Stuart line. And the whole German line. Like we ruled these lands. Some of them might be Benjamin and Levi. I'm gonna put that out there. So we're clear. Some of them might be Benjamin and Levi as well. And some of them might be, a few of them might even be Northern Kingdom. But yeah, and to even speak on the Northern Kingdom, we don't have a goddamn idea how their government worked. The white man destroyed all their records. Right. Like understand, like we're about to get the history of the Southern Kingdom, but understand when you go back and go to these records, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles are Judite records. We don't have the Hispanic ones. Wow. The white man destroyed them all, any trace of them when he came over here. Right? That's why Judah is important, because Jesus Christ is a Judite. And our people need to put it in their chest that these are their ancestors. If you are a Puerto Rican, what's called? Joshua is a Puerto Rican. Right? Right? Joshua, the man responsible for tearing down the wall of Jericho.
Right.
The man responsible for single-handedly bringing our people into the promised land. Okay, John, I figured. What's it called? That was a Puerto Rican brother, right? Keep going. Verse 9.
Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Judah is a lion's whelp. What is a lion's whelp? Calm.
It's a cub, sir.
Oh, calm. Right? Keep going.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
Keep
he
going.
stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up?
And that's the question for today. Who's going to rouse us up? Who's going to help us? Right? Who's going to put us in the right spirit to save us? And that's what Yonkers needs to understand. We have not had good leadership inside of Israel. And that's the point. We need righteous leadership. Okay? And we need to find out how we attain that righteous leadership. Matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 16 and 16. Now, we're about to find out how our leadership works.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 16.
Right.
3 times in a year.
Wait, Salakia. Salakia, 16. 18, Salakia.
Salakia, Deuteronomy 16, 18. So
Yeah, John, Salakia, that's my bad.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates.
What does this mean? This is something the Christian church knows nothing about because they keep no law. They never do this. What is this talking about? Huh?
We went over this. Is this talking about like our own government?
That's exactly what it's talking about. It's the basis of our government. Basically a municipal system, so to speak, meaning a principality, meaning a government, meaning these are the people who judge the matters, meaning, okay, we'll run through it after the end. Keep going.
Which the Most High thy power giveth thee throughout all thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment.
Meaning what? They won't pervert judgment like I explained earlier with the weights. Meaning they won't go and make evil. They won't go and try to, help you. Like when you bring a case like, yeah, Ibaji cheated me out of money. I can't pay off the judge. There's nothing I could give off the Shalayah that would not have him give me my money back. Give you your money back. Right? That's what it's talking about. They shall give just judgment. They'll do what's actually just and right according to the law. Keep going.
Verse 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment.
What does that mean? What does it mean to rest? In that sense, Khan.
Wrestle.
So what does it mean to wrest judgment? Khan.
To fight.
You cannot fight a judgment. If a judgment is about to come down, you must allow that judgment to come down. Right? I've seen men who try to stop because of some type of love or mercy. They try to stop a judgment. Man raped his sister, and because his father was King David just tried to banish him. King David's other son said, nah, come to my party. That brother, that son happened to be the full-blood brother of the sister that this brother raped. That brother died that night. That's what will happen if you wrest judgment. You can use your power and say, I'm not going to kill my son, no sweat. If God wants your son dead, guess what? Do not wrest judgment. Keep going.
Thou shalt not respect persons.
Thou shalt not respect persons. Keep going.
Neither take a gift.
Neither take a gift. And there's a problem amongst our people today, and you're going to find out it's a problem amongst our people back then.
Right.
We want to take some type of gift.
Right.
Right? Keep going.
For a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise.
It does blind the eyes of the wise. Meaning what? Pharaoh was so nice to give King Solomon his daughter. Right? But he didn't realize that's for the destruction of Israel. Keep going.
And pervert the words of the righteous.
And pervert the words of the righteous. Keep going.
Verse 20. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow.
Meaning what? What does it mean to pervert the words of the righteous? I have a dream. Well, no, that was a wicked cat from the jump. Let's build an altar to this false god, which is what Solomon did. Because my wife wants me to. Keep going.
Verse 20.
They don't treat me like a nigger. Salaki. They don't treat me, yeah, come. They don't treat me like a spick or a redskin. They love me, right? So I'll give them a temple. Keep going.
Verse 20. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow.
That which is altogether just shalt thou follow. Keep going.
That thou mayest live.
That thou mayest live. Keep going.
And inherit the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee.
Meaning what? Meaning what? At all times, we're to do whatever is righteous. Right? We're to do what the Most High commands at all times. And what happens? We live. If we don't, what happens? Huh?
We'll be captives under another nation.
Right. Now, give me 18 and 1. I'm going to get this.
Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 1. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Most High made by fire and his inheritance.
Meaning what? God.
Meaning that the Levites were the priests, so they had no inheritance as far as one set homeland because they were scattered throughout the land.
Right. And what did they get to eat since they didn't have a land? God.
They ate by other brothers and sisters giving them No.
Paratazah?
They ate the sacrifice.
That's it. They ate the sacrifices. What is a sacrifice? So we're clear.
Food.
Not good enough. Even saying food is
like cook, like
no. Take food out the equation. What is a sacrifice?
Sins offering. For sin?
Not always. What is a sacrifice? Penance to the Most High. Meaning you are on it with food, but here's the thing you got to understand. Food and money are the same thing to us. It always has been. Our food is money. That's why we today call it chicken, cheddar, cheese, bread, right? Because there was a time when I got 10 chickens, 5 bread, so on and so forth. It was probably at some point centralized to probably all be bread or something to that effect. But yeah, our money has always been food. So when the Most High is saying, you owe me a cow, that's $700, he's really saying. You owe me a cow, you got to go spend $700 on a cow. That's how much a cow basically costs. And you got to do all that. That's what he's talking about. They get to eat that $700. That's the Haitians portion. You break a law, the Haitians get to eat that $700. Here's the problem, though. I cheated you, and Officer Shalom let me go because I was able to pay him off. But let you break a law. Regular Joe Schmo. Officer Shalom wants his money. That was the problem back then. That's what that scripture was talking about. Get it dropped down. Salaki, drop down to verse 7.
God, verse 7. Then he shall minister in the name of the Most High his power.
Now, what is this talking about? What does it mean to minister? I'll give it to you for time's sake. To serve. He shall serve in the name of the Most High. Keep going.
Oh, God.
You good.
As all his brethren, the Levites, do.
Meaning what? All his brethren, the Levites, do what? Serve. Meaning they serve the work of the priesthood and doing what the Most High needs them to do. Meaning what? Usually teaching the people. The job of the priest is to teach our people the law. Right? That's not being done now. Why? Because we have bad leadership.
Right.
Just like the law wasn't being taught in their time. Because people didn't know. Because here's the problem. I didn't truly know that. Because here's the thing. I think the only person I got to worry about is Officer Shalom. Officer Shalom's not teaching me that in cheating you out of your money, Barataza, I have a beef with the Most High. And now the Most High is going to kill me. So when I try to cheat Shaul, he's not going to run to Officer Shalom. He's just going to cut my head off. Had Shalom taught me better, right, in this scenario, had I been taught better by the priest of that time, I would have known I shouldn't cheat you because the Most High will deal with me if the priest doesn't deal with me.
So that would mean that the blood will be damn Slakia.
Come on, keep on.
So the Most High kills you.
Right.
So wouldn't that mean that the blood is on
that priest?
That brother's hands for not teaching you?
Woe to the shepherds that caused my sheep to err. Why do you think he says that? Yeah, you leading my sheep to the slaughter, and I'm cool with you. No. Every abortion is blamed on your pastor. Understand that.
Right.
Your pastor is blamed for every abortion.
Right.
Martin Luther King is responsible for every death at the hands of police.
Right.
Martin Luther King is responsible for any brother, any sister that is beat and killed or done any evil by the white man she is having sex with. Blame Martin Luther King for that.
Right.
That's why God already put a bullet in his head.
Right.
Right? Keep Salakia. We're gonna get to the beginning of this. 15. Give me 17 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15.
Now that we know it, so we have an idea what good leadership is. Keep going.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Most High thy power shall choose.
What?
Shall choose.
Only God can choose your leadership. You cannot choose your leader. Keep going.
One from among thy brethren.
From among thy brethren. Keep going.
Shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not.
That's who you're going to set over you. Keep going.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee. Meaning what? You cannot be ruled by Kamala Harris. That is a stranger.
Right.
She is not our people. That is a goddamn East Indian. Keep going. Thou will not be ruled by Joe Biden. A lot of our people and Donald Trump. A lot of our Hispanic brothers actually voted for Donald Trump. Commander General YAHANNA explained it. It's because they hate themselves.
Right.
Keep going.
Which is not thy brother.
Which is not thy brother. And that's the important part. Your brother has to be the one to rule over you. Why? Why is that important that your brother be the one to rule over you? I want a precept. Khan says, you got a precept? Khan, well, wait till we done with this. Khan, why is it important that your brother rule over you? And who else thinks it's important that your brother, your flesh and blood, someone who lived life just like you, right? Who is made just like you. Why is that important? Khan, I want a precept.
Precept first?
The precept is the answer.
Can we use, like, if I may,
Khan.
I can't record the word, but can we use the precept when Moses saw the Egyptians?
No. We're talking about a king. A king that is your brother, right? He is your brother. He is made just like you. What? You don't know Paratiza?
No, I know, I know that.
If you gotta paraphrase it, paraphrase it. If you only know like one or two words, I know it very well.
He should,
What?
Should be made like his.
In all things it behooves him to be made like unto his brother.
That's the precept?
God. Because you gotta understand, because that's the point. It's somebody just like you. Joe Biden don't know your life. Kamala Harris don't know your life.
Right.
Barack Obama don't lived with a white woman in Hawaii.
Right.
George Bush is his third cousin. This is not a joke. This is not a rumor. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a fact. These men were not created like you. They were not made like you. You have your hand up, Paratiza? You got a question?
What scripture was that?
I'll get it for you. Says you had a question real quick?
Why can't women get?
Salam?
Why do Most High say you can't get abortion?
Because it's murder.
Can I ask you a question?
Come.
What happens if you don't have enough money to take care of a baby?
Call the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and we'll gladly take that baby off.
That's right.
That's right.
We do it all the time. Yeah, we raise kids. We love kids in here.
So,
Gonna raise them up to be nice, great warriors.
can I ask you a question? Now, they should have did that in the 80s.
John says they should have.
The Israelite school is
Hebrews 2 and 17. John. Salakia says we gotta keep going. So Salakia, give me 18, verse 18 now.
Verse 18, and it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites.
And since we pulled it already, Hebrews 2 and 17. Wherefore in all things, because it's funny he mentions the Levites, in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make a reconciliation for the sins of the people. Meaning what? He's supposed to be on there understanding our people better than anyone. Right? So he can make the reconciliation and be the mediator between us and the Most High. Come. So now we're going to get a bit of this history. We're going to get this history. Give me 1 Kings 11:1. Gonna go through this quickly. Gonna get the Maccabees. Then we're gonna get Sanhedrin, Salakia.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh. Women.
Khan, like I said earlier, he was out loving the daughter of Pharaoh, had no problem with the fact that he went and did this. Mind you, if I'm not mistaken, David was already dead. Like he did this after David died. Ain't that funny? But that's a whole other story. Yeah, Khan. So he goes and loves the daughter of Pharaoh, goddamn African. Keep going.
Women of the Moabites.
Women of the Moabites, a goddamn Japanese woman. Well, no, Salakia, Chinese or Hong Kongian. Salakia, what are they called now? Because Hong Kong split from China, whatever. Khan, keep going.
Ammonites.
Ammonites, basically the other Asians. Khan.
Edomites.
The Edomites, so-called white man.
Zidonians.
Sidonians, right?
And Hittites.
And Hittites, right? More Africans. Keep going.
Verse 2, of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel.
Now that I've taught this a few times, but where did he say that? Show me that. Show me Edomite. Don't marry an Edomite.
Salaki, so you asking questions?
Show me don't marry an Edomite. Try to be a little quick with it. If you don't know, you don't know.
Salaki, we just what?
No. But it said of the nations concerning which the Most High said, meaning said in the past unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them. What did the Most High say? Don't go into an Edomite.
He said not to. Well, Deuteronomy 7:6 is talking about the Africans.
That just talks about. Wait, no, it isn't. You sure about that? You're gonna say, yeah, that. Okay, what are you about to look up to find?
I was gonna go to Deuteronomy.
Yeah, do it.
Salaki says, I said Deuteronomy 7:6.
7 and 6.
Salaki.
No, that's not the problem. But where do Edomites come in?
It doesn't, so not in this.
So when did God say, don't go into an Edomite?
I don't believe it says, sir.
Right, you want to try to give it a shot?
I don't know the scripture, but it was just, it was a law that we couldn't go make marriages, with any other nations, but it was like a broad saying, so.
Where? What do you know what the scripture is?
I think it's in Deuteronomy, I'm not too sure, so.
Okay. You're probably talking about the verse above. That technically, but where does it say Edomite? I'll give it to you for time's sake. You already said it, Sean. Read verse 6 quickly.
Verse 6. And Solomon did evil.
No, Salakia, Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. But thou art a holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Where do Edomites live? That's a simple question. I should be able to answer that quickly. Where do Edomites live? Count.
Up high in the mountains.
Not the answer I wanted. Shaw, where do Edomites live?
Edomites live?
Yeah, where do the Edomites live?
In today's time right now, sir?
Where do the Edomites... Read the end of the verse.
Salakia. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Where do Edomites live?
On the earth.
Where do Moabites live?
On the earth.
Where do Ammonites live?
On the earth.
So, what are they to us?
Beneath us.
Am I going to have sex with something that's beneath me?
La'ah.
What's it called? Then what was said about the Africans earlier also applies to them. That's what this is talking about. It's still talking about Deuteronomy 7. I wasn't like, yeah, F them Africans, these guys are beneath you, but F them Africans, don't marry them. Oh, and these other guys are beneath you too, but I guess you can marry them? What sense do that make?
Right.
Now go back to 2.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 2. Of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
Now, we're gonna, okay, now meaning what? He went to serve their deities, right? We're gonna skip down. You give me verse 11.
Verse 11. Wherefore the Most High said unto Solomon.
And there's the first, one of the first examples of bad leadership. If we had time, I'd show you how the temple was created, because that was created by a bad leadership choice. The temple was created because of a plague. John Muhammad brought this out a year ago. Like, David wanted to number the people. I'll paraphrase it. Right. David wanted to number the people. The Most High had a problem with it and sent a plague to the nation. He actually, and here's the thing about it. Even though David made a bad decision, he made a smart one right after. He said, you can deal with your enemy. He gave him 3 options. I remember 2 of them. You can deal with your enemies, I can send a plague. He asked the Most High to send a plague. That was the wise choice. Why? Because that's our Father. Right. The minute David came with a buttload of just animals, like righteous animals, the Most High already knew what David was about to stop the plague. So he can do his little sacrifice, and let me see what he does. Our enemies, your enemy's about to kill the sacrifice before you can do anything with it. Right. He's about, if the minute you try to raise the altar, he's just going to tear it down. Like that's what you're going to deal with. He'll have no mercy on you. Our Father will. Right? He took those lessons that his father taught him and went to have sex with white people. He didn't listen to his Levites. He didn't listen to his high priest. He didn't listen to his seers. And guess what? It showed in his children. His son ended up not listening. I'm talking about Solomon now. Right? 11, read what you got.
11 again, so it's like it. Wherefore the Most High said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant.
And will give it to thy servant. Right? Meaning what? He's going to split the nation, right? So now we're going to skip over. Solomon dies. The Most High doesn't allow him to lose the throne within his lifetime as a promise to his father, right? Solomon does die though. And during the time of his son comes up. And then Israel goes to him, mainly the northern kingdom, what's known as the northern kingdom, meaning the Hispanic, what we today would call the Hispanic tribes, go and say, your father was heavily taxing us. He made our yoke heavy, meaning he wants, on top of the 10 we have to give the Most High, he wants 20, 30. He wants 40, right? Lower that, right? The time say we got to skip around. Give me verse 6.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 6.
Right.
And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Most High.
No, Salakia 12 and 6. Salakia.
1 Kings chapter 12, verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father.
These are Solomon's advisors, right? Solomon's advisors are trying to advise Solomon's son how to handle the tax problem, right? how to advise him on how to handle the tax problem that he's having, because Israel's having an uproar about it. Now, mind you, this is of God that this has happened, that our people are angry about these taxes. Read on.
That stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do ye advise that I may answer this people?
So he's like, so what do you think? He acts as his father's advisors. What do you think is the right course of action? Keep going.
So this is saying that King David is still alive?
No, King Solomon. No, he's dead, but his advisors aren't.
Come on, Salah.
Meaning like let's say it were with like any king. Come.
Verse 7. And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant.
A what?
A servant.
A what?
A servant.
A what?
A servant unto him.
Okay, now, Salaki, I'm not going to go through it. Maybe I'll do that another day. But here's what you have to understand. That is the job of a king. A king is a what?
Servant.
Now, here's the important thing that you have to understand. When did Yahawashi show this? Like, literally show this. Come.
He washed the feet of the...
Give him a hand. Like, that is, that's a young man. Like, for those who want to call that homosexual in question, he did not literally take a rag or his hand and wipe. It's the Middle East. Everybody wears sandals. Okay, let's go towards today. What do most black people, especially our sisters, tell you to do with your shoes when you come into their house? A black woman just said that. Give her a hand. Well, just like she doesn't like dirt in the house today, she doesn't like sand and dirt in the house yesterday. She keeps a bucket. Everybody kept a bucket of water. You just go and take your foot, one foot, other foot with the bucket of water, and your feet are clean. It washes off the dirt. In a military or ranking order, you'd have the lowest ranking man do that, right? So technically, Jews were supposed to come through before everybody and be like, come on, just bring your feet. You lift your feet up for 2 seconds and walk in the house. Yahawashi took it before anybody and said, allow it. Told his second in command, who said, what are you doing? Right? He said, allow it. Which tells you something about Peter. Peter's a very funny person. Like when I say Peter showed he was about that life and not about that life in 24 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna die with you, Jesus. I don't know that. But yeah, what's it called? He showed that, right? And his lesson was, I'm the greatest of you. Like you see how the second in power literally checked me, right? Like Peter, like understand, Peter told the king, you're doing it wrong. If Jesus want to be up at 3 in the morning banging pots and pans and like waiting for everybody to wake up, like, the hell is he doing? Okay, Peter, get the Bible and go to this scripture. You can't tell him nothing. He's the goddamn king. You're doing it wrong. Yeah, that's the type of status. And you guys should look at how they looked at Christ, how they looked at their leader, right? What's it called? He said, I'm the greatest amongst you. You see how, he was so ready to take this goddamn thing from me? That's how you should be with any man under you. You should be, you should be as ready to wash feet as I am. That's your job. Come. Keep going. These men understood that. These men understood a king is not a man who gets to sit on high. A king is a servant. Then you got to understand, just like General Hyman says, who am I to do this to another man's servant? Technically speaking, we aren't Yahawashi. Yahawashi is not the king. Has raised up Yahawashi to be a prince and a savior to Israel. Who's the king? The Most High. So at the end of the day, I'm just here to do what? Do his job and make sure your job is right. The Most High, I can't be productive to the Most High with a burnt down house and no food to eat. Yahushua as the king has to rectify that. My government has to fix that. Keep going.
God, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever.
Meaning what? You tell these people what they need to hear and want to hear. My father was wilding with them 35%. Y'all basically paying 45% taxes when you add on the Most High. I'm going to lower it to 15. How's that? Y'all cool with 15? I'm going to lower it to 15. We're going to deal with this, so on and so forth. We're rich now. We don't need everybody paying 35% taxes. Y'all cool with that? I'm gonna work out the budget. We're gonna force the Edomites to pay more. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna force the Edomites. Because technically the Edomites, even though the Most High was making plans to, because of Solomon, to have them betray us and stop giving us tribute, they were, because of David's work, servants of ours at this time. But that eventually ended. And eventually they were able to come into power. We're going to skip around, so keep going.
Come on. Verse 8. Verse 8. But he forsook the counsel of the old man.
What?
But he forsook the counsel of the old man.
I didn't actually want you to repeat it, but no, you good. Like, I was literally saying, wait, what? Yeah. You should lower their taxes. You understand what that means when they lower taxes, right? What does that mean for Rehoboam? Come.
No, it's not case.
You had a question?
I got jammed over. What scripture, sir?
1 Kings chapter 12, verse 8.
Come. Why is that a problem for Rehoboam now? Why would he forsake the, what's it called? Who's in control of all the money in Israel? Khan. Baratazar.
The king.
So if he's not getting taxes, well, if he's lowering taxes, what does that mean about his money?
If he's lowering taxes, what
Right.
that mean about his money? That means that he have enough money to lower taxes.
No. Khan.
It means that he's not getting money.
Exactly. If I say you pay me 35% tax, meaning you make $100, I'm getting $35, right?
Okay.
But now I'm gonna be nice and lower the taxes to 15. I only get $15. Do I want to do that?
In the long run, no.
Give me verse 8.
Verse 8. For he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him.
And which stood before him. Keep going.
Verse 9. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye that we may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which is thy father did put upon us lighter.
Khan, verse 10. Try to be
Verse 10. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him.
So he asked his friends, basically, what do y'all think I should do? Right? Like, now mind you, these are, like, try to think how Esau glamorizes life in America and he's loving hip hop and all this. These are the cats that race Mercedes Benzes with him. Like, these are the cats that they go out every night and it's like, yo, my Rolex is shinier than yours. And it's not in a beefing way, but we all cool, we all rich. Where these are more than likely Solomon's French children. Like he's not hanging out with broke cats, right? So basically, he goes to his friends and basically asks them, "Yeah, should I lower the taxes so I get less money?" Now, mind you, these are also probably men, and since they're his friends, I'm about to get a government job. How do you get paid from a government job? John.
Off the taxes.
So what's about to happen to your future salary?
Oh, it got to be cut short.
Right. Keep going.
saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins.
I'll break that down for you. You understand what that means, Paratazar? Because you kind of laugh, I thought you. You know what he's talking about when you hear the word loin.
Yes.
Meaning, oh, you thought my daddy was bad? Yo, my pinky is going to be like his rod. Like, no, my pinky will be bigger than his rod. Oh, y'all thought my father was a problem. Keep going.
Verse 11, and now whereas my father did lay you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father which chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
I'm going to be worse than my father. You pay 35? 35? Wait a minute. Y'all cats is the reason I didn't get that Porsche. My pops told me I couldn't get a Porsche because y'all out here paying 35% and y'all should be paying 55. You realize that's 65 after the Most High's put in, right? Not to mention possibly local taxes or whatever else they might have to be paying or whatever. Yeah. I'm about to make y'all destitute. We're going to skip ahead, but yeah, that didn't work out. Those brothers left and created the Northern Kingdom, which is why this is the history of the Southern Kingdom. Khan, what you gonna say? That was what you were gonna ask?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Khan. Now, if we could, we're gonna skip up a bit. Give me Ezekiel 23.
Oh God.
We're gonna skip up and get this so we can get into this Apocrypha and get more of this. We're gonna kind of skip Ezra. Okay. Because it's a lot, 23. Y'all got it?
Come on, what verse?
2.
Ezekiel chapter 23, verse 2. Son of man, there were 2 women, the daughters of one mother.
Right, keep going.
And they committed whoredom in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth.
Keep going.
There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teeth of their virginity.
Keep going.
And the names of them were Aholah, the elder, and Aholibah, her sister.
Right.
And they were mine.
Meaning what? The Most High had 2 wives. This is the Most High talking about his 2 wives. And we're going to find out who exactly are the Most High's 2 wives. Read on.
And they bare sons and daughters.
Right.
Thus were their names Samaria.
Samaria is the name of the Northern Kingdom, the Hispanic tribes, right? Keep going.
Is Aholah, and
right.
Jerusalem Aholibah.
Meaning what? Aholah and Aholibah, right?
God.
Meaning the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom are the Most High's wives.
God.
Right? He personifies them as such.
Right.
But give me verse 5. And we're about to find out what happened to Aholah, the Northern Kingdom. Keep going.
Verse 5. And Aholah played the harlot.
Keep going.
When she was mine.
When she was mine. Meaning what? She went and worshipped other gods. That's what it means to play the harlot in this sense.
Right.
Keep going.
And she doted on her lovers.
Doted on her lovers. Keep going.
On the Assyrians, her neighbors.
Keep going.
Which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers. All of them were desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. Thus she committed whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria.
Meaning what? She was in love with these people. Why? Because they were great, they were mighty, they were American soldiers.
God.
Right? That's what she was in love with.
And with all on
Salakia. Give me verse 9.
Come, verse 9. Wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers.
Meaning what? I gave her up to them. Keep going.
Into the hand of the Assyrians,
Keep
upon
going.
whom she doted.
So I just stopped dealing with her. Keep going.
Verse 10, these discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword.
And that's what happened to the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom was taken out by the Assyrians, right? Keep going. And destroyed their nation completely. Keep going.
And she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her.
11. And now we're about to find out what happened with the southern kingdom. And this was all for the reasons I stated. The Levites were not teaching our people the truth. So what? I didn't realize the Most High is coming to get me for all the adultery I'm doing, for all the cheating I'm doing, for all the, by cheating, I don't mean cheating on my wife. I mean, there's no such thing as a man cheating on his wife. A man can have as many wives as he wants.
Right.
I'm talking about cheating your brother or your sister out of money, right? Out of business deals. Okay? Meaning I'm selling you a garment. I'm selling your wife a dress, telling her it's pure silk, charging her pure silk price. But my wife knows how to mix polyester and silk, where a dress can be 70% polyester, 30% silk, and you'll never know it. Right? I'm cheating you. That's an evil thing. And God sent the Assyrians to deal with the northern kingdom. Let's see what he has in store for the southern. Keep going.
Verse 11, and when her sister Aholibah saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she.
Keep going.
And in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms.
Meaning what? What's it called? We Salakia, Parakazar, you're a little older, Salakia, I'm going to say it like that. But how long you been knowing about RuPaul? How long has RuPaul been around? Well, you could probably answer the show.
For years.
Well, give me a decade. 90s, 80s.
Since the mid-90s.
The mid-90s. Because the first time I saw it was Crooklyn. Crooklyn, wasn't that the late 80s? That was the late
90s.
Crooklyn is late 90s?
Yeah, the mid-90s.
Okay, so like 95 or something. Okay, 90s. That's how long we've had RuPaul. Try going down to the Northern Kingdom and being a homosexual. You'll be lost in some jungle somewhere. They don't play that. They don't accept homosexuality as much as Judah does. Yeah, Judah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, like actually a Puerto Rican rapper who was a homosexual got found dead a few years ago.
Right.
Yeah, oh, you didn't know about that? Yeah, Khan, General Muhammad brought that out one time. Yeah, you can't, nah. Have you remember some homosexual called, I won't even say his name. You remember that cat, right? It was going down there having sex with little boys. Yeah, Khan, they don't accept that. They're not big on that. Certain things they'll allow, certain things they don't allow. But Judah really allows everything, right? Keep going.
Verse 12. She doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captains and rulers, clothed with most gorgeously horsemen, riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men.
Now, they meaning what? Meaning what? She started to dote on other people. Give me 17, Salakia.
Verse 17.
We're gonna skip. We're gonna go through some of this. Keep going.
And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredom.
Meaning what? We accepted Assyrian gods and Babylonian gods too. We were accepting everybody's gods. We were going into everybody's ways, and our leadership was allowing it. The priesthood was allowing us to be Christians, to be Muslims, to worship Krishna. Keep going.
And she was polluted with them.
And she was polluted with them. How are you polluted with Christmas? Because you celebrate Christmas, every year we have a rise in gang violence on that date. Keep going.
And her mind was alienated from them.
And her mind was alienated from them. Keep going.
Verse 18. So she discovered her whoredoms.
So she discovered her whoredoms. Keep going.
And discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her.
Meaning what? Keep going.
Like as my mind was alienated from her sister. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms, according to remembrance the days of her youth.
You're giving me 22, Salakia.
Oh God, verse 22. Therefore, O Aholabah, thus saith the Most High Power, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee. I will bring them against thee on every side.
Meaning what? I'm going to attack you on every side with your enemies. Meaning what? These are Babylonians are going to destroy you. And that's eventually what happened. The Babylonians destroyed our people, right? The Babylonians destroyed our people, and we ended up what's called in captivity under the Babylonians. Why? Because we did not have strong leadership to guide us. Matter of fact, let me get that for y'all. We might end it. We might make this a part 2 because I do need Babylon to book 2. What time is it?
8:54, sir.
All right, Khan. We're gonna end it off with this. But matter of fact, let me get that in Jeremiah, and we're gonna end with this. Okay. Khan says we're gonna have to.
You said the Most High had a woman, like a baby?
Israel is his woman.
Oh, all of them.
Yes. Israel is personified as 2 women. Just like America is personified as a beautiful woman, that Statue of Liberty, he personifies Israel as a beautiful. That's most nations. Most nations call the nation itself a woman. Come.
Yeah, like Russia is known as Mother Russia.
Right. That's exactly. Give me Jeremiah 38 and 17.
One more time. Jeremiah chapter 38, verse 17. Then said Jeremiah unto Hezekiah, thus saith the Most High, the power of hosts, the power of Israel.
Now, what does the power of hosts mean? Khan.
The power of army.
Keep going. Power of armies. Keep going.
If thou wilt assuredly go forth unto the king of Babylon's princes, then thy soul shall live.
Then thy soul.
And thy soul shall live.
Keep going.
And this city shall not be burnt with fire, and thou shalt live in thine house.
Verse 18.
Verse 18. If thou wilt not go forth to the king of Babylon's princes, then shall this city be given unto the hand of the Chaldeans.
Then shall the city be given to the hand of the Chaldeans. Keep going.
And they shall burn it with fire, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand.
Now, somebody break that down. Try to do it quickly. Brother Kushar. Verse 17 and 18. Very simple. What does verse 17 say?
You want me to read it again?
If you have to, come.
Then said Jeremiah unto Hezekiah, thus saith the Most High.
Zedekiah is the king of Israel at that time, David's descendant. He's the king. That's who he's talking to.
Thus saith the Most High, the power of hosts, the power of Israel, if thou wilt assuredly go forth unto the king of Babylon's princes, then they so shall live, and this city shall not be burnt with fire. And thou shalt live in thine house. Verse 18. If thou wilt go, but if thou wilt not go forth to the king of Babylon's princes, then shall this city be given into the hand of the Chaldeans, and they shall burn it with fire, and thou shalt not escape out of their land.
Out of their hand.
Out of their
Meaning what? What is this talking about? Paratza?
Jeremiah is telling, is it, Zechariah?
Zedekiah, Salaki.
Zedekiah,
Right.
that if he, I guess, go, when they at war, if he go, you know what I'm saying, towards, you know what I'm saying, towards this, towards Babylon,
Okay, give me more.
he go towards Babylon, it will, I guess, he won't burn it down, or he's just gonna occupy it.
Okay, no.
And
You want it.
Yes.
Meaning, there is a prophet going to the king and saying, stand your ground, be a man, go and meet the men. If you simply go, now why did he say the Lord of hosts? He didn't even say the Lord of hosts. He didn't even say Israel first. The Lord of hosts, the Lord of the most high, the power of hosts, the power of Israel. Why did he say host first? Come.
Because this is what the Most High told Jeremiah, right?
No. There's a specific reason he said host first. Sure, you think you got it?
Oh.
Because the Most High would be with them if he was to go down with the princes.
So why does that matter? The Most High is with him.
Because it's the
Why does the host part matter? He's trying to remind him of something. Paratza?
Let him know that the Most High have the power to, like, have your back when nothing will happen to you.
Give me a little more. Like, you're kind of on it.
Your actions is protected by the Most High.
Yes. Well, what you gonna say, Shalom?
The Most High decides who wins or who loses.
Exactly. I need you to remember that. Like, come into this conversation knowing the God who decides all battles is telling you, like, who wins and who loses the battle is telling you. This is how you win the battle. Just go there. Like, if you get up and leave, you'll win. If you stand here like a coward, you're going to get killed. That is literally all the Most I told this cat, right? Verse 19.
But we'll come, verse 19. And Hezekiah the king.
Zedekiah.
And Zedekiah the king said unto Jeremiah, I am afraid.
I am what?
Afraid.
I am what?
Afraid.
First off, this man has not been taught properly. That's a sin. It is a sin to fear anything but the Most High.
Right.
Keep going.
I am afraid of the Jews.
Now stop. It not only is that, he's now getting people's lives in danger. Because if the king is afraid to do what's necessary to protect the people, like, understand, Jeremiah didn't say, you're going to die if you don't go fight. This city is going to be razed. The capital city is about to be razed to the ground. What you think happens to us as a nation if our capital is razed to the ground? And he's already saying, your house is about to be messed up. Meaning you are probably dead. Your family's probably dead. Only one who will probably be left alive is an infant that they have pity on. We're supposed to take orders from an infant. But yet and still, I am
afraid.
Keep going.
Of the Jews that are fallen to the Chaldeans.
He's afraid of traitors who support our enemies. When God just said, go fight them, you will win. You out here afraid of some traitors. Like, understand, okay, y'all think it's some big, sprawling cat. Nas X. That's who you're afraid of. That's who supports our enemies. Kanye West. That's who supports our enemies. Charles Barkley, stupid behind. That's who supports our enemies.
Right.
Charles Barkley looked dumb as hell ever since he came out of the country. Like, Charles Barkley always kind of looked like you a cat who needed to dribble a basketball. But afterwards, I see, yeah, you should stay dribbling the basketball. Just put the basketball in your mouth and don't talk. Salakia. Keep going.
Lest they deliver me into their hand and they mock me. Verse 20.
Stop. So what is he afraid of, Shaul? Salakia, we got to get through this. Basically, I'm going to give it to you. I understand all you're saying that the God of armies and war says all I got to do is take a sword and be willing to fight, and I automatically win the fight. I could really get up, go out my door, and someone run and say, yo, a hurricane killed the Babylonian army. That is literally what could happen. In our history, like probably during David, if I'm not mistaken, during David's time, David walked up to battlefields where everybody was put to sleep by an angel. Slink, 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 slink. Yeah, just take the spoils. That is literally what we're dealing with here. But these men might capture me and make a fool of me. You realize the last cat who I gave strength to thought I was playing, had sex with a few heathens. I had his enemies burn his eyes out and make a fool of him. I did that, not him. Don't blame the Philistines for what happened to Samson. Blame God. And then blame God for his redemption. You want to look like a matter of fact, we're probably gonna have to save that for next week. If I'm not mistaken, they burned his eyes out like Samson's. Want to talk about I might be made to look like a moth, which basically means they're gonna make me look like a clown. No sweat. I'll show you what a clown looks like. When I have you in front of your kids and they burn out your eyes. That's what happened to this brother. This is why leadership is important. This brother didn't have any because his daddy chose not, his great-great-great-great-granddaddy chose not to listen to leadership. So he lost most of his throne, most of the power that came with the throne, and they have been having the struggle ever since. You know why? Because instead of listening and saying, Grandpa Solomon messed up marrying all those white women. Grandpa Solomon messed up bowing down to Ashtoreth. Grandpa Solomon messed up sacrificing to Moloch. Instead of saying that, no, we're going to worship Ashtoreth more. We're going to embrace the Babylonian Baal. We're going to embrace Moloch. Now all of these gods and their people laugh at us as they burn our king's eyes out. Time check.
9:06.
9:06. God, that's what this brother was afraid of the people. This is bad leadership. This is what happens when you rush judgment. Right. When you fight what the Most High wants to happen. Okay? This brother, Rehoboam, was not our brother. Our brother would have realized I should get counsel from a wise elder instead of my goddamn best friend. My best friend wants to help me spend my money, my newly gotten inheritance, right? My best friend doesn't really care about the fact that I just lost more than half my kingdom. My best friend just worries about himself, right? That's the problem. We don't need a leader like that. Right. We need a leader that will understand these are my brothers complaining, saying that I am hurting them. And as their king, as their servant, it is my duty to help them. That's what righteous leadership does. But wicked leadership, as you can see, continues to destroy us. Right. And we're going to see how this man's wicked leadership and wicked decisions led to our destruction next week. With that, I pass the class over to priest and officer.